Hey class, today I'm going to talk about your annotated bibliographies, which are the next short papers that are due this Sunday. The main thing I want to communicate about these annotated bibliographies is that we're starting to enter into conversation with your sources. So you have this picture here of Sir Isaac Newton's marginalia is what they sometimes call it, in which this is a book that he's reading, and this is what he's written along in the margins, as though he's in conversation with it, with the book he's reading. So, what is an annotation? In the study of English, or in academic studies, we have annotations refer to a couple of things. So you may encounter both of these definitions at some point. So the first one refers to those marginal comments, those circles and underlines that you see people write inside of books. This is Elvis Presley's marginalia in The Prophet. Again, like I said before, annotations place the reader in conversation with your sources. So this is that inside copy of David Foster Wallace's annotated copy of a book by Don DeLillo, which, you could really see him thinking through as he reads the book. So here's another example. When academics discovered a new copy of works of Shakespeare that were filled with marginalia, they got really excited. There was at least one scholar who thought that the handwriting was that of John Milton, another famous English writer. They got really excited about this because they were able to see not only what people at the time made of Shakespeare's works, but we got to see the impressions that Shakespeare made on this particular famous writer. So it's exciting to see this sort of thing. Sometimes medieval scribes would, as they're working on making copies of texts, would what they would do they would do what they were called illuminations. Partially just to beautify the page, but also to ease the tedium of being human copy machines. So you see a number of illustrations throughout older texts. So sometimes it was intended to beautify and enhance the text, to give us sort of like a drawing, like this is explaining. These drawings are explaining what's going on in the text. But other times they are seriously in conversation. So I have just some examples of marginalia that they have found in different books in the medieval era. So I love, oh, this is sad, oh little book, the day will come in truth when someone over your page will say the hand that wrote it is no more. So thoughtful. I love this one. Whoever translated these Gospels did a very poor job. So sometimes they're really just like talking to the book. And this is sort of tangential, but I thought you would think it was funny to see. There are some quite literally cheeky illustrations in some of these marginalia. Another term for or use of annotation, and I just realized maybe my little talking head down here is covering it up, refers to a summary of a source. Like marginal comment annotations, the annotation that's a summary is also engaging in a kind of conversation with the source material. Let me move that back down. So, oh wow, it's still covering it up. So when we talk about summaries, summaries are a type of writing in which we name the main argument in the source. We provide each supporting argument from the source. We may quote from the original source. It should primarily restate the arguments in the writer's own words. and should use a lot of tags like the author explains, blah, blah, blah. So annotated bibliographies take the summary form to the next level. We go a little bit further. So for what is an annotated bibliography when we look at this assignment? So essentially it's a list of sources for a research paper in which the writer has provided one, the citation for each source. You've already done that with your bibliography. A brief summary of each source, and a comment about its quality and usefulness. So we're summarizing and talking to and about our sources when we do an annotated bibliography. So for this particular paper, this is what I want. First, I really need that brief reminder of your topic, around 50 words. 4 to 6 alphabetized sources in alphabetized or in a logical order. 4 to 6 citations in whatever style you want to use. A summary of each source in about 50 to 100 words. I want to see your quote sandwiches, which we're talking about in the incorporating sources video. And then a comment about each source's usefulness and quality in 25 to 50 words. So for this class, your annotated bibliography has 4 to 6 sources. Each source gets a citation, summary, and evaluation. So you can see that we'll have multiple sources, each with a citation, a summary, and evaluation. So it will look something like this as we build it into a like if this was the outline form of it. We'll start with our citation for number 1, the summary for number 1, the evaluation for number 1. For your paper, you can set it up like this with your name, your title, your topic reminder, and your citations following. This is what mine looks like. I do want you to begin coming up with a title if you haven't already. This is a good time to experiment and try some new things. Next, that topic reminder. I can't keep track of what everybody's writing about, and I need to have a reminder. So that's less about what you need and more about what I need at this point. This is our first citation here. I just used the MLA format, and it's a citation of Linda Berry's book, What It Is. I have a new paragraph here for in which I just give my summary for the book. My second paragraph here is my evaluation, in which I talk about how I plan to use it in my final paper. And then I move on to my next source there, and it goes on like that. So what I recommend is that you double space the full document, then add extra space between annotations, and then also add a normal paragraph break with a tabbed first line between the summary and evaluation. This will help me see where everything is. Just another reminder about your citations. It's great if you use a citation generator, but that's being said, I do recommend that you figure out which citation style you need to use in your particular field and start learning how to do it. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. A note about your sources. I'm counting anytime you refer to other sources as research. I want to see you use those sources well and correctly. In other words, use the strategies we discussed in the Incorporating Sources video. And even though you don't need scholarly sources, I do ask that you go further than Wikipedia. You can also think creatively about your sources. Like I said, you can use poetry, song lyrics, movie quotes, whatever in your paper, as long as you cite it properly and use your quote sandwiches. Formatting for your annotated bibliography. It's due Sunday. It's double spaced, 12-point font. Length is as long as it needs to be, maybe different for each of you. And I'll say it again. I do want a title other than annotated bibliography. So one more time, If you haven't gone to the library to get some help or used a Zoom office hour or something like that, go ahead and do that. They are there to help you. If you're struggling to find sources, they're there for you and they want to help. My grading guide looks like this time. I think, nope, I need to go back. So one thing to note about this is that look at where the bulk of the points are. They are for the summary. You get 1 full point for the evaluation portion, but your summary counts for 3 points out of the 6. So be sure that you give some time to writing each of those summaries. And here's my final word. Annotated bibliographies aren't that fun. I admit it, but they won't kill you, for one. And 2, they're kind of like eating your vegetables. They're good for you. And in the end, you'll be glad that you did it because there's going to be content that you create in your annotations that you can copy and paste straight into your final paper. All right, guys, happy annotating.